Nagaland insurgency, right? This is related to GS3, and also we can expect a prelims question from this. It can be related to GS3 internal security, right? The internal security topic. So this was in news because a few days back, the governor of the state of Nagaland has written a letter to its chief minister, to the Nagaland's chief minister, saying that there are huge extortions that are taking place in the Nagaland state. Extortions means some armed groups are coming and forcing people to give money, right? So the governor wrote in a letter to the chief minister of Nagaland saying that extortions by armed groups are taking place in Nagaland, and also some organizations are running parallel governments in the Nagaland. This was something which the governor of Nagaland told to the chief minister of Nagaland. But if we see, a statement was also given by one of the militant organization in Nagaland called NSCN, National Socialist Council of Nagaland, which we'll be discussing in detail later. Now, this militant organization was saying that its government is the legitimate government, and they are not extorting people, but they are collecting taxes from the people. So this organization is giving a statement that they are not taking the money from people by force, rather they are collecting the taxes to continue their movement for sovereignty of Nagas, right? This is the statement given by militant organization. So in this context, it's majorly affecting the people of Nagaland because they have to pay taxes to the government, also to this parallel government. So the burden is on the people. So in this context, we'll try to see how did this Nagaland issue start? When did it start? What is its present status? What are some efforts kept by the government? And what are some hurdles in achieving the peace in Nagaland? So all these dimensions we'll try to see. So before we discuss the present status of Nagaland, we have to know the historical issue, right? This Nagaland issue is a pre-independence problem. Even before independence, this issue of Nagaland was there in India, right? In the year 1881, this Naga region became part of British India, right? At that time, India was under the British rule. So this Naga region in 1881, it became the part of British India, right? So then it was under control of British till 1918. In the year 1918, for the first time, the Naga people have made a club called Naga Club. This was the first resistance by the Naga people towards the British Indian rule. Nagas always wanted themselves to be the rulers, not the external governments, right? So in 1918, they have formed this Naga Club. This was the first resistance against external governments. Gradually in 1929, there was a commission appointed to India by the Britishers, which was called Simon Commission. This will be discussed in detail in modern India. So as of now, you consider this as one commission appointed for some constitutional reforms in India during the year 1929. Even to this Simon Commission also, this Naga Club went to this Simon Commission, approached them and demanded for sovereignty for the Nagas, right? They wanted to be independent. So this was proposed to Simon Commission also in the year 1929 by this Naga Club. And gradually, this resistance was increasing, and in the year 1946, a person called Fizo, Phizo, Zapu Fizo, right? He became the leader, or he became the face of this Nagaland protest. And he formed a Naga National Council by this person called Zapu Fizo. So what did this Naga National Council do? It declared Nagaland as an independent state on August 14th, 1947, right? On August 14th, 1947, this Naga National Council, it has declared Nagaland as an independent sovereign state on 14th August. So in this way, they expressed that they want their sovereignty and independence. Even in the year 1951, they conducted a referendum in the state of Nagaland. What is referendum? Referendum is nothing but taking vote from all the people. This is an instrument of direct democracy. Rather than elections, which is indirect. In India, this is direct form. Right? They directly asked the people of Nagaland, this Naga National Council people. And what did the Naga people gave the verdict? 99% of the Naga people supported for an independent Nagaland. They want Nagaland to be separate, not as a part of India. 99% of the Nagaland people supported an independent Nagaland and a sovereign Nagaland in the year 1951. Right? So as a result, after this referendum, this person Zapu Fizo has formed a federal government in the Nagaland. Right? His own national federal government of Nagaland and also a federal army of Nagaland. Right? So a separate army and a separate federal government for Nagaland. Right? That was considered as an independent state. Now this was strongly opposed by the government of India. As soon as a parallel government and also a separate army was made by this individual, government of India in 1958, after various efforts, crushed this insurgency in the Nagaland, right? With all its might, even using the army, government of India successfully crushed this insurgency in the Nagaland state, right? And also an act called Armed Forces Special Powers Act, AFSPA. This will also be detailed, discussed in detail later. So this act was also enacted in Nagaland. This gives some immunity to the army, right? They can go and freely check the houses, right? They can kill the individuals also if they perceive a threat from that individual. So in this way, more freedom was given to the armed forces and the army in the Nagaland. So in such way, government of India successfully contained and reduced this insurgency in Nagaland by 1958, right? However, the activities still continued, the militant activities. In 1975, there was an accord or an agreement between the National Naga Council and the government of India. This was called Shillong Accord. So in this way, an agreement was achieved, and this Naga National Council, it surrendered its arms, it surrendered its power, and it agreed that Nagaland will be a part of our India, right? The National Naga Council, it surrendered, gave up its arms, and it said that Nagaland will be part of government of India. However, few sections of this Naga National Council were not happy with this. They have come out and started another militant organization called Naga Socialist Council of Nagaland, right? National Socialist Council of Nagaland, NSCN, right? So this was formed. This is the militant organization which we can see even till date. This was formed in the year 1980, right? From then onwards, they were fighting for sovereignty and an independent Naga state, right? They want Naga to be free from India and independent from India. In 1988, for various reasons, this was split into two factions. Now we have two factions within this NSCN organization. One is NSCN IM. IM is Isaac Muvaya. So NSCN, National Socialist Council of Nagaland, Isaac Muvaya. This is NSCN IM faction. This is the faction which is currently very much active in the state of Nagaland. And another section is called, another faction is NSCN Kaplang, NSCN K. This is active from Myanmar. They carry on their operations from the Myanmar in the state of Nagaland. Right? So these are the two factions, and right now, from many years, our government is trying to have a peace talk and try to establish peace with this NSCN IM, because by 1991, this NSCN IM became the largest insurgent group in Nagaland. Right? So as of now, this NSCN IM is the largest extremist group in the Nagaland state. Apart from this also, we have other organizations which are protesting for an independent Nagaland in the state of Nagaland, right? This is the largest one. Then negotiations were going on. Even in 1995, negotiations were tried. Even in 1997, a ceasefire agreement was tried with this faction. However, in 2015 year, this NSCN IM faction, they came to an partial agreement with our government of India, right? What did they say? In 2015, a partial peace accord was made possible, in which this NSCN IM, they gave up their goal of sovereign and independent Nagaland, right? They said they don't want an independent and sovereign Nagaland anymore, right? They gave up their goal. However, they have kept two demands, and they said that they want to achieve these demands by being a part of India, right? They said we don't want to move out of India. We want to be a part of India. However, we have two demands, right? So if these two demands are achieved, then we will give up our sovereign and independent Naga state goal, right? So this was a partial success which our government could achieve. However, the major problem came in these two demands. These two demands created a deadlock between the government of India and the NSCN Isaac Muvaya faction. Peace deal was not possible because these two demands are controversial demands, right? Because of these two demands only, even till now, we are having this Northeast insurgency. The first demand is separate Naga flag and constitution, right? They are demanding that they will be a part of India. Nagaland will be a part of India, but they want a separate Naga flag and a separate Naga constitution, right? This is the first demand. The second demand is they want a territory which is beyond Nagaland state right now. Their goal is Greater Nagalim, right? Their goal is Greater Nagalim. What is this Greater Nagalim? This is beyond Nagaland state. It also includes some districts of Arunachal Pradesh, some districts of Assam, and also some districts of Manipur and a portion of Myanmar also, right? They consider this entire region as Greater Nagalim, and they consider this entire territory as their own territory, not simply the Nagaland state which we see now, right? So these are the two controversial demands. Now these are difficult to achieve because firstly, if we see the first demand, separate flag and separate constitution, is a big challenge to the federalism of India, right? Our India is a union of states, right? We all have one national flag and one national constitution, right? So this is a challenge to federalism. If we want to achieve this demand, then some remarkable changes have to be made to the federal character of India, which is very difficult to achieve. That is the first issue. Second demand, if we see the Greater Nagalim, here other states are also involved. No state would be willing to give away its territories to another state. And especially in the Northeast, where cultural significance is more, where people are more insecure about preserving their culture and their territories, it is very much difficult to create this Greater Nagalim for the Nagaland people because of these two reasons. And also another reason is there are other tribals in the other states who will feel insecure if we give away these territories to the Nagaland, right? The districts which the Nagaland is expecting from different states, there already some tribals are living. For example, if we take Manipur, from where some districts are demanded as a part of Greater Nagalim, in this Manipur, we have Kukis and Meiteis. These are two tribals there. They are also separately demanding a homeland for them now, seeing the Nagaland people, right? So we can't simply give away this Greater Nagalim also for the Nagaland militant organization. So that's why a deadlock was created between the government of India and this NSCN Isaac Muvaya faction, because of which we can see the impacts even till date. Even till now, low-level violence, that means violence and militant activities by these militant organizations still take place in Nagaland. Because of this, peace, a long-term peace is not being achieved in the state of Nagaland, right? And also, because we are not able to achieve the peace, development is also becoming difficult in the Northeast, right? Only when the law and order is proper, only then development is possible. Only then we can bring some infrastructure there. Only then we can bring some schooling there. or some productive things there, right? So law and order issues are having impact on development also. These are the two impacts. And also if we see the other impacts, interstate trade and commerce within the Northeast is also getting affected because of this, right? All the sister states, if we see the northeastern states, Arunachal Pradesh, Manipur, Nagaland, Mizoram, Tripura, Assam, Meghalaya, all these interstate trade and commerce is also getting affected because of this Nagaland issue, right? That is also an impact. And also public faith in the governance is also reducing. If we see, this was in news because government is also charging taxes on the people. These militant organizations are also charging taxes on the people, right? So parallel governments are there in Nagaland. So this in some sense reduces the trust or the faith which the public have in the governance system, right? So this is also an impact. So all these are some impacts because of this long-term insurgency which we are not able to solve in the state of Nagaland, right? So then what should be the way forward? The way forward should be peace accord as soon as possible, right? However, this peace accord should include all the stakeholders. All the stakeholders implies all the militant organizations, not only the NSC and Isaac Mubaya faction, even the other factions also have to be brought to the table, right? Otherwise, what happens? We might make a deal with this faction. Later, another faction will come and start the violence, right? So, not only major factions, but even other factions also have to be included. And even other state governments also have to be included. Because the demands which this NSC and IM is making, which this Naga insurgent groups are making, this involves the interests of the other states also, right? So, those are also stakeholders. The factions are also stakeholders. So, we have to include all this. Only then sustained peace is achieved. Only then long-term peace is possible. Otherwise, we would be achieving peace only in bits and pieces. And again, we have to start a peace accord. That should not be the case. Long-term peace as soon as possible by including all the stakeholders is the way forward, right? That is the first thing. And the second thing is people-to-people contacts also have to be improved. Right? The insecurity in the Northeast people can be reduced, in the Nagaland people can be reduced only when we increase people-to-people contacts between mainstream India and the Northeast India, right? Mainstream India is the main belt of India, right? All the other states. So these states and the Northeast states, people-to-people contacts we have to improve. That reduces the insecurity in the Northeast people. And also people-to-people contacts within the Northeast states. That is also very much important, right? People-to-people contacts between mainstream India and the Northeast states, and also people-to-people contact within the Northeast states. This will reduce the cultural insecurities in the tribal people, right? This will lead to national integration. In this way, we can reduce this militant organization, protests and efforts and all these things, right? And also, we have a council called Northeast Zonal Council, right? There are zonal councils in India. The states are divided into 4 to 5 zonal councils. In these zonal councils, the states come together and discuss all their issues, right? This is a platform for cooperative federalism. So, one such council is Northeast Zonal Council. Right? Here all the Northeast states assemble. And our Union Home Minister is the chairman for this. So even this platform should be effectively used to solve all such kind of problems between the Northeast states. So in this way also, we can reduce the tensions in the other states because of this Nagaland issue. Because of this greater Nagaland concept, the tensions which other states are having, those can be reduced. And a balanced decision can be taken. So even this Northeast Zonal Council must be effectively used. So overall, if we see, only when law and order is perfect, only then development is possible. Only then we can integrate this Northeast people with the mainstream economy, right? That actually reduces the alienation. that actually improves the confidence among the Northeast people, right? That is the confidence building measure that is required, right? Only when we take care of this law and order problem, and only when we can establish a peace through a peace accord, only then inclusive development is possible, right? That is the first thing. The second thing, if we see, even in the international relations, if we try to analyze this issue with respect to international relations, our Prime Minister has a vision of Northeast as a gateway to the Southeast Asia, right? Our Prime Minister's vision is Northeast India is the gateway to the Southeast Asia, right? For better integration among the South Asia and also with Southeast Asia, Northeast is seen as a gateway. So in that context also, we have to ensure a long-term peace and development in these Northeast states, right? Only then our Act East policy will be successful. So this has a national significance also, right? So these are the significances why we need a long-term peace accord in the Nagaland.